Hello everyone, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2. It's been quite a while since I played this, the last time being when I played Magical Miracle Girl Monomi mode. Man, is that a mouthful. Anyway, that was actually back when I originally finished the game, so even though I'm uploading that now, it actually was quite a while ago. Now, before I get on to Island mode, which is the main reason I'm playing right now, I do want to check out the novel. I think that's going to be shorter than Island mode, I'm not exactly sure. But hopefully it's interesting. Anyway, this is, you can read the light novel for Danganronpa IF, written by that amazing writer. Okay, that's interesting. That amazing writer. Who is that mentioning? I don't know, like, who that's referring to or anything. Anyway, let's get in here. Trigger Happy Havoc, Danganronpa IF, The Button of Hope and the Tragic Warriors of Despair. Alright. Should I check out the character introduction first? I know the characters, but you know what, I'll take a look. Okay, so this is going to be with the old cast, I'm guessing? Just by looking at this, yeah. Yes, it is. Okay. So we have Makoto. He's the typical high school student with absolutely no remarkable talents or characteristics. He was randomly selected to attend Hope Speak Academy from a pool of other unremarkable students. Oh man, Ishimaru. Oh man, I miss you. Oh. God damn. It's nostalgic seeing you though. The ultimate moral compass. He was the head of the public morals committee at his previous high school, a noted college prep school. He is extremely strict towards lazy people and anyone who makes fun of working hard. Togami, of course. A member of the family which controls the Togami Corporation, an international mega conglomerate. As the heir to the family business, he was harshly raised to prepare for his duties. Mondo. At one point, he led the biggest biker gang in Japan. He's a classic rebel with a heart of gold. He has his own strong sense of justice. He also has an undying admiration for his older brother. Leon. Despite his refusal to practice, he has enough natural talent that his pro baseball scouts have already started courting him. Even though he's kind of obnoxious, it's hard to hate him. Oh man, I forgot about Hofumi. Wow. He has a certain charisma within the fanfiction industry and is very proud of the following he's cultivated. At a local school festival, he sold over 10,000 copies of his latest creation, a stunning achievement by any measures. I'm kind of interested in what he writes. I don't know. Because he does sell a lot of copies, and that's impressive. I don't know. I'd be interested to see. Oh boy, Hagakure. I never forget about your hamburger story. It is one of the best moments in the first game, to me. He relies on his own intuition. He relies on his own intuition to form his predictions, resulting in an accuracy rate of 30%. He's been held back a few times. I like that last sentence. That's just like, that's most of what you need to know about him personally. Just, he's been held back a few times, you know. Don't mind him drinking beer, he's of age. Oh boy, there's Sayaka. I always remember I felt uncomfortable during the first game whenever I saw her. Just kinda creeped me out. She's the lead singer in a world-famous pop group. Though she's the darling of a generation, she's managed to maintain her sweet, down-to-earth nature. Yep, Kirigiri. She's the only student at the school whose ultimate talent is unknown. She carries an intense beauty, but her past and thoughts are shrouded in mystery. Asahina. She's a natural-born athlete. Her main focus is swimming, but at her old school, she also competed in volleyball, track, and more. She has a smiling, enthusiastic nature that helps keep the others in high spirits. Toko. Oh man, I remember Toko. Despite her age, she's already a successful novelist. In actuality, she has a personality disorder that manifests itself as a serial killer personality known as Genocide Jack. Oh yeah, Sakura. We saw... Was that actually a statue of her? in the game. Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure that was a statue of her in the second game we saw. It's weird that she has a statue, but cool, I guess. Her father taught her martial arts since she was a little girl, and now she has become the strongest human being on Earth. That it? That's just all you're gonna say about her? Just, like, okay. You know what, that's fine, that's fine. Celestia. Her petite Lalita appearance belies a haughty temperament and a sharp, caustic tongue. She's a master of deceit, and her face is utterly inscrutable. She is Japanese, in case you were wondering. Yup, Junko Enoshima, who could forget? She's a charismatic model who has graced the covers of the most popular youth fashion magazines. However, her true identity is... We have Chihiro. She's very quiet, but has extraordinary talent when it comes to computers. Well, if you're already giving spoilers, you could just say it's, you know, a boy. You've already put out so many spoilers in here already. Like, if you went out of your way to say that Fukawa is Genocide Jack, then you can say that Chihiro's a guy, if you want to. Oh man, there is quite a difference between them. Just like comparing Mukuro dressed up as Junko. Anyway, a combat specialist who has mastered handling various weapons ever since she was a child. She has had a special interest in mystery stories and is completely engrossed by them. Well, I think that's the most we've ever learned about her. Very interesting. Okay, now that we've got a little refresher on all the characters from the first game, I guess let's get this started. Monokuma Monologue. The world is full of ifs. If Adam hadn't tied the knot with Eve, society as we know it would have never been born. Or never would have been born. The world that everyone lives in is just one outcome among countless ifs, and will continue to be a muddled world overflowing with infinite ifs. If is what's in miso soup, you know? What lies beyond this point is a scary world filled with How do you even pronounce iffy? I guess iffy would be the way to say that. Stepfathers who abandon their families. A Klein bottle where the inside and the outside are filled with uncertainty. Ah, but don't break it, okay? It'd be so expensive that there's no way you'd ever be able to pay me back. But no matter how you look at it, ifs are simply worlds like any other. No matter how hypothetical the story may be, the future is the only thing that's truly foggy. And the past is more solid than a frozen banana. You can't change the conclusion that has already happened. Even if you see a world that may have existed, it wouldn't affect the people living in reality. Now, how solid is a frozen banana? I don't know, like, bananas are very squishy, generally. I've never frozen a banana before. Who the hell freezes bananas? It's weird. Anyway, because if is only if, after all. Even if a parallel world exists, where a particular if actually happened, humans cannot cross boundaries between worlds that easily. No matter how far if goes, it will always be what if scenario. Do you really want to see that? You've got some sick interests. Don't you think that's an insult to Makoto and the others after the tragedy they overcame? Though, as far as I'm concerned, I'll still insult them. If you're gonna look at if, I think it's better if you view the outside of the Klein bottle first. It might even be better if you view the ending of a video game called Danganronpa Trigger Happy Heaven. Try to play it multiple times, and spend your free time with Junko Enoshima at least 3 times too. It may be ideal if you can collect all the items in movies too. Well, I don't think I spent any free time with Junko before she died. That kinda sucks. And collect all the items in movies too, wow. But if you guys have come this far, I'm sure you've already done all that. Still, I'd buy the game if I were you. I'd actually buy at least 2 copies of if I were you. Or 2 copies of the game, wow. The curtain lowers. What should I do with this? Mikoto Nagi was at a loss. Despite his hesitation, his situation was extremely simple, and composed of 3 key factors. The first factor was that Makoto was currently locked inside at school. Speak Academy is a school for the privileged elite, and each student attending possesses ultimate talent. Makoto was chosen to attend Speak Academy by a lottery held to select the ultimate lucky student. When he arrived for his first day of school, he immediately lost consciousness, and when he woke up, he saw all the exits and windows had been sealed shut. Now this is the store from the first game, isn't it? Interesting background. The next factor was Monokuma, a mysterious robot bear, being operated by the mastermind, and the announcement he made to all the students. "You'll be living your whole life in this academy," he declared. "If you want to leave, then kill someone and become the Blackened." This strange, remote-controlled robot was telling Makoto and his fellow Ultimates to start killing each other in exchange for their freedom. They learned that more than one Monokuma exists, and that each one contains a bomb to prevent anyone from attacking them. On top of that, Monokuma announced that anyone who attempted to harm him would receive punishment. The third and final factor was the red button that Makoto was currently holding in his hand. The words "escape button" were crudely written on this button in marker. Okay, I have no idea what this is about now. This is like, it was setting up what happened in the first game pretty well. Now, I don't remember any escape button, unless I'm mistaken. It has been quite a little bit. And though the first 2 factors were certainly causes for panic, Makoto only seemed at a loss over the third. During his free time, Makoto noticed that the school store was open, and his curiosity got the better of him. Yes, let the gambling addiction set in, Makoto. I know that's what happened when I played the game. He was overwhelmed by the disjointed atmosphere upon entering, but his attention soon focused on a strange vending machine. The words "Mono machine" were written on it, and it seemed to accept strange, bear-patterned coins they sometimes found inside the school. It seemed like a bad idea, but Makoto thought there might be a chance that this machine could dispense some way of escaping the school. And so, he inserted the only coin he had into the coin slot. And the result was the escape button, mentioned earlier. There's a limit to how much you can tease us. Maybe the mastermind who trapped us in here is making a cruel joke. The thoughts filled Makoto's mind, and he began to feel deeply discouraged. However, there's always a chance, right? Makoto was just an ordinary boy, and he only gained entry to Speak Academy through a lottery to find the ultimate lucky student. Maybe that luck was the real deal. If this button is real, maybe I can let Saika... Makoto took a deep, slow breath and pressed the button. Instantly, pain burst through his entire body. Makoto's arms and legs went limp as he lost his balance and fell to the floor in a crumpled heap. He breathed heavily. It dawned on him what had just happened. I got electrocuted? He looked down at the button in his hand and noticed a small needle sticking out of it. Makoto quickly surmised that an electric current must have been running through it. After regaining enough of his strength to stand back up, Makoto thought about it once again. I should have known. It was a fake. Just how sick and twisted was the mastermind. My head still feels a little woozy. I should go back to my room and rest today. With that in mind, Makoto walked out of the school store with slow, careful steps. But Makoto didn't know yet. If the escape button really was a fake, it would have been an act of mercy from the mastermind. A small, bear-shaped shadow began moving around inside the now empty school store. The shadow, Monokuma, stood before the Mono machine and stared at it silently. But after some time had passed, he began to laugh, a cold, hollow laugh utterly devoid of emotion. Despite the fact that he was alone, Monokuma began to talk, almost as if he was speaking to someone. Perhaps Monokuma was talking directly to the mastermind, controlling him. I only put that in the Mono machine because I thought it would be interesting if one of the last few survivors happened to win it. But with the success rate of 0.0000001%, I never thought anyone would actually win it. Perhaps I should have expected the ultimate lucky student to overcome such impossible odds? Yeah, that's pretty crazy, but he is the ultimate lucky student, so... Well, one of the ultimate lucky students. Monokuma started blushing and breathing heavily for no apparent reason. A robot like Monokuma doesn't need to breathe, but because his technology is super advanced, he can express himself like a living creature. Makoto was chosen through a lottery, and now he's won the escape button through the lottery. This is obviously impossible, right? Is this what a miracle is? Is this all systems go toward escaping? Is something that defies all common sense about to come crashing into my world? Well, even though I don't really want this at all, I'm starting to enjoy this new sensation. We'll be back after these commercials. Monokuma's internal machinery began running at full capacity, and his facial expressions began changing more smoothly than any humans could. Suddenly, his expressions immediately stopped, and he whispered through his speakers. But this is really good luck. Is this really good luck? Oh boy. So what does the button do to him? That's interesting. I do want to find out. After muttering something so ominous, Monokuma's loud screeching laughter rang jarringly throughout the room. The situation that was about to unfold contained two conflicting emotions in equal measure: hope and despair. The next day, nighttime, student dormitory Makoto's room. Oh man, these rooms, man, it has been a long time. Oh, he's even got the lint roller right there. And the katana. So this is taking place really early on. Wow. Whew. Mikoto Nagi lay on his bed, desperately struggling with the despair and hope churning within him. Monokuma had forced the students to each watch a DVD earlier that day. Makoto showed a scene that suggested his parents and his little sister were in danger, and he now found himself determined to leave the school. It seemed the other students were forced to watch shocking videos of their own. Videos so shocking that they were now determined to escape the school as well, even if it meant sacrificing someone to do it. However, it was obvious that these videos were part of Monokuma's trap. As long as the student killed someone, they were allowed to graduate and leave the academy. It seemed that the mastermind controlling Monokuma was hell-bent on making the students kill each other. But right now, Makoto was the most worried about Sayaka Mizono, who seemed to be incredibly distressed after watching her DVD. Sayaka wasn't just the ultimate pop sensation, she was also Makoto's classmate when they were students at Blackroot Junior High. Her optimism had been encouraging Makoto these past few days, and he was becoming a similar source of strength for her as well. If nothing else, I have to save Sayaka. As soon as Makoto thought that, he suddenly felt a small headache. Was he still reeling from being punched by Mondo the other day, or was this a side effect from being electrocuted by the escape button? As Makoto pondered these things, the pain slowly subsided, and he returned to his determined thoughts of escape. Anyway, we all need to work together and... Huh? At that moment, Makoto realized his goal had changed slightly. We all need to? Ideally, it would be best if everyone survived together. However, aside from Sayaka, Makoto had never met the other students before. He didn't know if they could even be trusted in the first place. But at that moment, he trusted them without even an ounce of suspicion. He believed they were worth helping, even at the cost of his own life. Just like Sayaka. Why? The headache struck again, as if all the blood vessels in his brain were being individually sliced open. Why did I just think that I could trust the others as much as I trust Sayaka? Makoto tried to figure out why his thought process had suddenly changed. Something was wrong. The throbbing pain in his head seemed to synchronize with the strange feeling that something was approaching him. As a ray of light began to form within the dark recesses of his own mind, the doorbell rang. Someone's here? He quickly got out of bed, but that only made the headache worse. With no concern for his safety, Makoto carelessly opened the door to his room and came face to face with Sayaka. I'm really sorry to come by so late. Sayaka? The pain. What are you doing out so late? The moment he saw her face, the pulsating pain in Makoto's head began accelerating. He felt like his world was being torn apart from inside out. Sorry to bother you, but something really weird just happened and... Makoto? What's wrong? You don't look so well. Sayaka was pale and had been trembling when she came to Makoto's room, but she seemed surprised to see that his complexion was worse than her own. Yeah, I'm fine. It's just my head. Makoto couldn't finish his sentence. His eyes rolled back into his head as he lost consciousness and slowly fell to the floor. And Sayaka's beautiful voice let out a scream as she stood over Makoto's body. Wow. Oh, that's how you go back. Interesting. Wait, is that the end of the chapter then? Maybe. Alright, the next day, the nurse's office. Oh, you're awake. Hey, you okay? How many fingers am I holding up? As Makoto regained consciousness, he was greeted by the sight of fingers adorned with long, fake nails being waved in his face. Huh? Huh? You're Junko, right? Hey, why do you sound so unsure? I'm a little shocked to hear you say that. Despite what she said, Junko Enoshima, the ultimate fashionista, was laughing as she found this all very amusing. Makoto looked around the room and realized he'd never seen this place before. It looked somewhat like a hospital. 3 beds, including his own, were lined up in the room, with various medical instruments laid around them. The black ceiling felt strangely oppressive, but as he sat up, Makoto's mind immediately centered on one possibility. Where are we? Did we get rescued? That'd be nice, huh? She replied as she looked away. Junko explained that this was the nurse's office on the 1st floor of the academy. That Monokuma thing said, I can't bear to see my precious students getting sick and open this place up this morning. But don't you think it's suspicious? What if all these what are all these meds and poisons? To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. Makoto remembered his encounter with the escape button and let out a small sigh. So why am I here, Junko? You should thank Sayaka for that. She was here the whole night taking care of you. She was? Junko ignored Makoto's surprise and continued, casually talking. But then Taka got all fired up and was like, we should take turns watching over him. I just happened to be on duty when he woke up. Well, and even then, only cause Byakuya ditched. Of course he did. What a beautiful bastard. I can forgive him for that. I see. Thanks. Like I said, you should thank Sayaka. Anyway, how are you feeling? Is everything alright? Huh? Makoto thought about it for a moment and remembered what he had been thinking about just before he lost consciousness. This is kind of weird, but... Actually, it's a really weird question, but... What's up? Junko, we've never met each other before, right? Upon hearing this, Junko's eyes widened, but a few seconds later, she began to laugh. Huh? Are you for real? That pickup line is like, so totally played out, you know. Even though she was grinning, a serious look came over her face. Just so you know, you shouldn't expect anything like that from me. I know I look this way, but I take my virtue pretty seriously. No, I mean, I never expected... Well, that's what I figured. It's pretty obvious that you're a total omega male anyway. Mikoto and Junko continued to talk to one another. Although he wondered why Junko was talking to him, instead of leaving to get the others, Makoto didn't question it. He just wanted to talk to someone. Anyone. As long as he interacted with his fellow students, he believed he would learn the truth about what was going on inside of his head. 10 minutes later. Junko mostly talked about alpha males and omega males, her time being homeless, and about her past and her dreams for the future. Now, is she lying about that? Or was she homeless for a while? That's interesting. It'd be interesting to know if that's actually true or not. I mean, she doesn't have to lie about everything, so if she was homeless, that'd be weird. It's hard to imagine Junko being homeless, at least. The last topic was a lot heavier than the previous ones, but Makoto's calm demeanor seemed to cheer her up. She smiled sincerely and softly. Thanks, Makoto. Maybe it was a sign of gratitude for listening to her troubles, but she kept that same smile as she blurted out something horrifying. In return, I promise that if I do kill someone, it won't be you. Don't say scary stuff like that. At least, that's what Makoto thought, but the words that came out of his mouth expressed a different sentiment. I see. Thanks. But I wouldn't want you to become the Blackened in the first place. For some reason, Makoto felt like the murderous words that came out of Junko's mouth seemed like a natural thing for her to say. She seemed very surprised by Makoto's response and quickly blurted out, "Huh? Are you serious? I was just kidding." Huh? Oh yeah, of course. Sorry for acting so weird. No worries, let's just chalk this up to you being woozy from your recovery. She returned to her usually bubbly self, let out a big stretch, and turned to Makoto. I'm gonna get going now. Make sure you don't get killed before the next person arrives. After seeing her off, Makoto laid back down in the bed and started thinking to himself. What is this strange feeling? His dull headache continued as his thoughts began to blur. I was just talking to Junko, but I feel like I was talking to someone else. Who is she? The more he thought, the more it felt like his memories were sinking into a thick swamp. Each throb of pain pulsing in his head felt like a wave on the surface of that swamp. What is this feeling? It felt very unpleasant, as though someone's voice was screaming at him from inside his head. Makoto tried to organize his thoughts and go over everything that had happened to him. But he was interrupted by the sound of a bell. Unlike the dorm rooms, the nurse's office didn't have a doorbell. The sound that Makoto heard was ringing throughout the entire building. Ahem, testing. Mic check, 1, 2. This is a test of the school's broadcasting system. It was Monokuma's voice. Now that Makoto had finally woken up, please assemble at the gym. Makoto listened to Monokuma's heartless order and got out of bed without complaining. I have to go. He walked one step at a time, in accordance with the rhythm of his throbbing headache. Slowly he walked forward, not knowing where he was headed. Was heaven or hell? Or if it was heaven or hell. Okay. It's really interesting. Now, how much time has passed since he passed out? Alright, we're at the gym now. Makoto, are you alright? Sayaka ran over to Makoto as soon as he entered the gym. Yeah, thanks. Sorry about yesterday. I guess I really worried you. Please don't apologize. I'm sorry too. I barged into your room when you weren't feeling well. Now that you mention it, said Makoto. What happened yesterday? Sayaka looked away for a brief moment, but immediately turned back and smiled, her pop sensation smile, and shook her head. It's nothing. I'll tell you some other time. Huh? While they were talking, Kiyotaka Ishimaru, the ultimate moral compass, stepped forward, pointing an accusatory finger at Makoto. You're late, Makoto. Explain why you were tardy. The other students collectively raised their eyebrows as if they were thinking, why is this guy yelling at someone who was sick? However, Makoto just smiled gently and answered him honestly. I didn't feel well, so I was resting in the nurse's office. Can you note that in the daily logbook? I see. That's consistent with my information. If that's the case, then I shall consider this matter settled. The conversation progressed smoothly, and Taka smiled as he kept talking. Ha ha ha! I'll take full responsibility for recording it. You just focus on recovering. If you ever feel ill, please report to the health committee. It seems we'll need to appoint health committee members after this meeting, though. Taka walked away, mumbling to himself as he opened the daily logbook he found in the academy's supply room. Celestia Ludenberg, the ultimate gambler, saw the whole conversation and walked up to Makoto. Despite his unreasonable behavior, you knew exactly what to say to him. Huh? As soon as Celeste said that, it dawned on Makoto. It's true that he didn't feel well, and that he had been resting in the nurse's office. Yeah, I'd just like to mention, that was really smooth for Makoto. Like, he dealt with that social interaction amazingly. And that's impressive considering how inept he was in the first game. But when Taka asked him why he was late, even though he should have already known the reason, Makoto didn't feel annoyed or disappointed at all. It was as if he expected Taka to say that. Makoto felt strange that he accepted Taka's personality so quickly. Yeah, and this is also really early on, so he wouldn't know Taka that well. like he wouldn't have had time to spend free time with him or anything. He couldn't understand why he asked Taka to do something as unnecessary as recording it in the daily logbook in the first place. Why did I say that? It's like I was used to it. His response to Taka's demands came as naturally to him as breathing. Why? Why? Every time he tried to think about it, his headache grew even worse. As Makoto struggled to think through the pain of his headache. Alright, I'm starting to think that the needle that poked him wasn't actually an electric shock or anything. I'm thinking it's giving his memories back. And that's actually very interesting. A black and white stuffed animal jumped out from behind the gym's podium and began twirling around as it spoke in a cheerful voice. Hey guys, is everyone here? He sounded like he was about to lead the students on a field trip, but not a single one of them had a smile on their faces. What is it this time? Are we gonna hijack a cruise ship and run into a gigantic worm? Of course, there was one exception. Yasuhiro Hagakure, the ultimate clairvoyant, still believed that the current situation was some kind of planned event. Monokuma just ignored him and continued to address the students with his adorable voice. Today, I'm going to tell you about our wonderful academy system. System sure sounds like a great word, don't you think? It reeks of danger, just like a bear. I want you all to trample over the deaths of your friends and grow up to have hardened hearts. It's good to be a little naughty. I want you all to grow poisonous personalities. After making his nonsensical introduction, Monokuma moved on to the next topic. With this, he began providing a detailed explanation of the most vile system in the school, the class trial. Now, you can't just kill someone. You gotta kill someone without anyone else finding out you did it. Monokuma talked about his horrible graduation program with a casual indifference. But because the killing hadn't happened yet, his lecture didn't instill any despair in the students. As long as killing never occurred, there'd be no point into class trial. But no one could really say that a killing wasn't going to happen. As the students' suspicion began to rise, Monokuma continued to explain the class trial until... Wait, hold on a second. As Monokuma began to explain the executions that would serve as punishment, one girl stepped forward. Junko? As soon as he saw how angry she was, the rhythm of Makoto's headache began to change slightly. You're freaking insane, you know that? The girl continued to complain angrily. She seemed completely different from the smiling person Makoto saw in the nurse's office. Huh? Was Junko always like that? No, she's different. That's how Junko acts, but... Well, to correct myself from earlier, it would have been Mukuro that was homeless, not Junko, technically, because this is Mukuro dressed as Junko. I just, to clarify earlier, but still, if Mukuro was homeless, it's still hard to see. That'd be very interesting. Is that person really Junko? Huh? Wait, what am I thinking? Oh, wow. Okay, that's very interesting. So he's starting to think, is that really Junko, because he's slowly getting his memories back, as I'm assuming. As Makoto struggled with his headache and confusion, Monokuma and the girl continued to argue. What, are you saying you're not going to participate in the trial? Only punishment awaits such blasphemy. What? Punishment? I might, I don't know, throw you in deep, dark, scary prison or something. Different. The strange feeling he felt was now directed at Monokuma. A prison? No, they aren't that kind. A series of images flashed in Makoto's mind, and at first he thought it was some kind of parade, but he quickly realized that was a mistake. What looked like lights were actually buildings engulfed in flames. The red decorating the scene seemed to have come from human bodies. Despair. It wasn't confined to the academy, or even to Japan. Images of worldwide death and destruction flooded Makoto's brain with every throb of his headache. I've seen this before. Besides the indescribable violence taking place in all these images, there was one thing they had in common. Who are they? They're rampaging terrorists wearing black and white masks and wreaking havoc in these images. They took everything. Money, valuables, lives, families, dignity, the past, the future, and possibly even hope. The mask these terrorists were wearing perfectly resembled the face of the stuffed animal arguing with the student before him. Shut the hell up. Say whatever you want, I'm not gonna be a part of this. Don't be so selfish. You're the one being selfish. Kill whoever you want. It's got nothing to do with me. The evil standing here before me. I'm trembling with fear. But I won't give in to such evil. It's my style to stick it out and resist till the very end. If you really want to get out of here, you'll have to go through me first. Monokuma swung his arms wildly as he charged at the girl with waddling steps, but the girl stomped on his self-proclaimed headmaster of the academy with ease. That's a weird sound. Kyume? How would that be pronounced? Kyume? Kyume? That's a weird sound. Are you enjoying yourself now? Pinned beneath the girl's foot, Monokuma looked up into the girl's cold eyes and calmly asked, "Are you?" Huh? Violence against the headmaster Monokuma is not allowed. You violated a school regulation. At that moment, a chill ran down Makoto's spine. Okay, this is really odd because Sayaka's still alive, but this is seemingly the scene where Mukuro dies originally. She's going to get killed. Monokuma's words sounded very threatening to him. It wasn't a prediction or a guess. It was as if he knew the danger Monokuma posed from the start. If this continues, Junko's going to... His mind still didn't fully grasp the situation unfolding in front of him. By the time he realized he was about to remember something, he was already running forward. Junko? The impact of his feet combined with the rhythm of his headache, sending his brain and his heart into a panic. No, she's different. She's... I invoked the mighty summon spell. Help, to me, godly spirit Gungir. Yes, I remember this scene. Monokuma wriggled beneath the girl's foot and let out a scream. At that exact moment, Makoto charged at her and screamed out. Mukuro, watch out! Huh? The girl dressed as Junko Onishima widened her eyes in shock. As if to evade the charging Makoto, she jumped back with agility unheard of in a teenage high school girl. And then... right at that moment, countless spears pierced the spot where she had been standing just a split second ago. All the students, including the girl, stared wide-eyed at the sudden turn of events. Spears, too many of them to count, had shot out with blinding speed from mechanisms installed in the floor and walls of the gym. However, Makoto was unable to notice this. Huh? Why did I call Junko Mukuro? Mukuro? As that thought entered his mind, a sharp sudden impact struck his side, followed by an intense deathly pain that ran down his spine and spread throughout his entire body. The spear stabbed into his side, instantly tore his flesh to shreds, and shot out his back coated in blood and other bodily fluids. Oh fuck. At that moment, the black fog that had engulfed Makoto's mind was consumed by death itself. As his consciousness slowly faded, he remembered everything. Because of the electric jolt and the chemical compound and the escape button, everything of that button that had been found by chance. Mikoto Nagi managed to escape. He escaped this hopeless game where he and his fellow students had their memories stolen and were forced to kill each other. Of course, that escape is also what led him to his current life or death predicament. In the end, perhaps he only escaped from one despair to fall into another. But at the same time, his actions had unintended consequences for one person. The girl living a false identity as their beloved little sister, Junko Enoshima. Mukuro Ikusaba, the ultimate soldier, and a member of the ultimate despair. Her past, her future, perhaps even her hope herself, are on the path to despair. And so, the curtain falls on Makoto's story for now. From this point on, the story is about a certain girl. A girl who's more pitiful than anyone else in the sealed-off academy. A new curtain, along with new despair, shall now rise. Huh? Time had certainly stopped for Mukuro Ikusaba. It was as if everything around her had frozen perfectly still. So, does that mean Makoto's dead now? Man, that's weird. In the past, she was known as the Ultimate Soldier. She had experienced this feeling before, during her time with the mercenary group Fenrir. In situations where she was surrounded by a hopeless number of enemies within the jungle or in a desert ruin, the charging enemies seemed as though they were frozen in time, which allowed her to claim a decisive victory in all her battles. But this wasn't a battlefield, so why did this familiar sensation activate once again? In order to understand what had happened, Mukuro slowly tried to assess the current situation from within this frozen world. Junko and Mukuro are both children of despair, but Junko Enoshima, the true ultimate despair, harbors a far deeper darkness within her. Though their last names are different, Mukuro is Junko's older sister, connected by the bonds of blood. She cooperated with Junko's hopeless plan and impersonated her under the pretense of participating in the killing game alongside her classmates. According to the plan, Mukuro was supposed to oppose Monokuma, who her sister was controlling, and be locked in a dungeon as punishment. Isolated from others, she would then escape the dungeon and perform various acts intended to deprive the students of hope. That was the role she had been assigned. Yeah, but that's not the role Junko had in mind for her. When Makoto succumbed to his headache, Junko ordered her to see if the shock had caused him to remember anything that could make him a liability. He woke up as she was tending to him, so she made small talk with him, but she didn't notice any change in his behavior. Wait, when Makoto succumbed to his headache, Junko ordered her to see... Okay, so it still was. It wasn't... yeah. I was confused for a second there. It was still Mukuro that was talking to him. Until this point, she was certain that there shouldn't be any problems. Nothing could possibly go wrong. She stomped on Monokuma like her sister ordered her to do, and flawlessly spoke the lines she was taught to memorize. Afterward, she would fall through the trapdoor into the dungeon, and remain isolated from the other students. That was her role. She hadn't done anything wrong. There were no problems. There were no problems. She repeated that to herself over and over like a silent prayer. But in that frozen moment in time, what she saw was, not a trapdoor, but countless spears. One of them had skewered Makoto through his side. Why? Makoto, why are there spears? Gun gear? I would have died if I hadn't moved. Did Junko mess up the plan? No, Junko would never mess up. She was trying to kill me? Me? Makoto saved me. Why? Why did he say my name? Did his memories come back? Did I not realize that? Did I make a mistake? Is that why Junko got angry? Is this punishment? Is it my fault? Junko tried to kill me. Kill me. Kill me. Slowly, the time came back to our world. Mukuro could feel her face turning pale as she slowly looked toward Makoto. The students' screams ran through the gym. Saika was probably the first one to scream. But who screamed first didn't matter to Mukuro. Makoto. Why? Makoto was the ultimate lucky student. He had been her classmate for the past 2 years, and now he was a sacrifice to despair. Not long ago, he had given her an answer of sorts during their conversation in the nurse's office. He was just a pawn in the plan her sister had devised. But now, a feeling of doubt began forming in Mukuro's mind. What did I want from Makoto? As their heart churned restlessly, she continued to think. In return, I promise that if you decide to kill someone, it won't be you. Was I impersonating Junko then? Or did I really mean that? When did I start feeling this doubt? Just now, the moment he saved me. Or when we spoke in the nurse's office earlier. Or when I first confronted him about this killing game before his memories returned. Or was it before even that? Mukuro stood there, confused and overwhelmed, as Makoto slowly opened his eyes, the spear still impaling him through his side. Mukuro. Makoto, are you okay? I don't think he's okay. Mukuro was no longer impersonating the ultimate fashionista. Looking up from the floor at the gym, Makoto asked, "Why are you dressed up like Junko?" He was smiling. Maybe he couldn't feel the pain anymore, or maybe he was being affected by something else. But regardless, Makoto ignored the fact that he was dying, just to give Mukuro his warm smile. I'm glad you're safe, Mukuro."